Cool.
And we can jump straight in, man. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Boom. We smack the button and we're rolling. We're at the top of the
Boom.
slide and we've just sort of put our socks on and gone straight down.
Like the firehouse.
Yeah, man. Like we had
There we go.
what do they call wacky warehouses back in the UK. So they're always attached to a pub, which is ironic. You know, the parents can go in and get sloshed, and then the kids just go absolutely mental on sugar and kind of run around in this wacky warehouse. Like you're looking back and you're like, health and safety would have had a field trip. You know what I mean? But like,
Dude, that actually makes a lot of sense to me, man. My family, we just went and stayed at this place. It's called the Great Wolf Lodge, and so it's a hotel. But then in the hotel, there's a full water park, like water slides and all this shit like that. And then there's like a ropes course for kids and like mini golf, and there's a thing. But what there also is restaurants that all of them serve booze, and there's like a bar area. There's like a little bar area inside by the water slides, and so that's all it is. It's just everybody there has kids, and the kids are just like going on the water slides and like just living it up, and all the parents are like sitting in chairs after visiting the bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I would be in the play area. I'm like, look, I want to use those like rope things. I want to go in the water park, and then afterwards I'll sit in the chair and drink the booze.
Oh, see, I think you got that order backwards.
Oh, drink the booze and then go in it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, I like it. You got to get rid of all the kids though. Like,
bring you back to your youth. You know what I mean? Have some fun.
I really want, those little lime scooters that are going around.
Oh yeah.
I really want to, this is going to sound really like not clever. I really want to go on a skate park on one of those things, pissed.
I got a ticket on one for not wearing, or it wasn't a helmet ticket. I got a ticket for riding on the sidewalk, but I wasn't.
Oh my God.
I was. Yeah, dude, there's 3 of us. Anyway, we were going in San Diego, and we just went to park them. So like we only went on the sidewalk for like 10 feet to like park them outside where we were going in. And like, but this police officer came around the corner right as we like got on the sidewalk. Anyway, pulled us over and gave us tickets. I thought it was gonna be like whatever, $60 or something. It was like a $200 ticket. I was like, man, this is trash.
That's like getting a speeding ticket when you're on a push bike.
That's exactly what I was like.
No. It's like it's a slap in the face. You're like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, what do you got?
Come on. Like, have you got nothing else to do?
If he saw me being like irresponsible, if I was like weaving in and out of pedestrians and like almost hitting people, like, all right, that's 100%, fine. But there's like no one around. Anyway, yeah, whatever. So what's up, man? What's going on?
Not much, man. Like I really want to know about Caffeine and Kilos, like the origin.
Yeah, dude. You want me to start there?
Yeah, because I've been fucking following this shit for like as long as I can remember, man. Like, yeah, which is not very far, but
Caffeine and Kilos started as an accident. Like we just wanted to host a weightlifting meet, and so the thing is, back in 2013, not like it was like that long ago, but there weren't no weightlifting meets paid cash prizes, and there weren't like big audiences at local weightlifting meets. Like even if you went to national championships, there'd just be other people competing there, and like I don't know, maybe your mom goes if she's like lives close enough, but like that's kind of it, And so we said, hey, how can we get the best weightlifters in the country to come out and compete in this meet? That'd be really cool to see like head to head, like best lifters in the country. And so we said, okay, well, we need a cash prize and we need an audience. And so give them someone to cheer for them, And so it's okay, well, let's get some sponsors. We'll get a cash prize together, and then we'll have a CrossFit style competition throughout the day. And they're familiar with the lifts. And then at the end of the day, we'll have one session of these of the best weightlifters in the country, and they'll stick around and watch them. And there we go. And then we can use the money from the entrance fees for the venue, and we can host this big meet, get these great lifters out, pay them cash prizes, give them a crowd to lift in front of. And that was an idea. And then at the same time, one of the guys I was talking to about doing this, he just kind of willy-nilly posted on his Facebook a picture of a t-shirt and just had a picture of a coffee mug and a guy lifting weights, and it just said my life. And he said, hey, I'm going to make one of these for myself. Like I kind of want one of these, like all we do is like drink coffee and go lift weights. Like this is like a workout, this will be fun. And there's so he's posted a picture. Hey, does anybody else want one? Because I'm gonna get one made. And the response was overwhelming. Like, it just really resonated with people. Like, tons of people were like, "Oh, dude!" Like, basically, all of his friends on Facebook. They're like, "Yeah, dude, like, make me one too. Like, I want one. Like, whatever." And so we were talking about that, and then we kind of realized they weren't actually two separate ideas. They were the same. It was the same thing. It was the same idea, caffeine and kilos. Like, let's like get fired up and work out. It's like, and so that was kind of how it all came together. So we hosted that competition, and leading up to it, we made a couple shirts, like the Caffeine and Kilos shirts, and we sent them out to some of our friends that were either high level CrossFitters or high level weightlifters and stuff. Just like, here you go, man. We're making these. Like, that you might want one. And they started posting, and we started getting this huge response. So our coffee, the first coffee we made, the PR blend coffee, and those original shirts, we actually put those on the website and started selling them before the event even happened.
Wow.
And so then by the time the event, and this is all over the course of like 8 weeks, right? 10 weeks. And so then when the competition went down, we already had our store live online. The event went great. People were pumped up, lots of really good lifting and everything, got the cash prizes out. And then basically used all the proceeds from that event basically to fund like the next order of inventory. And so that's what we were able to kind of bootstrap it ever since then.
What was the first t-shirt? Was it the green one?
No, it's black. It's black. Well, there's actually the first one's like a charcoal gray, basically like a black with white. But it's the Arch logo. It's like our most popular shirt. Anyway, yeah, it's like most popular shirt we sell. It's still our most popular design.
Wow. Every time I walk past someone and they're wearing a Caffeine and Kilos shirt, I'm like, God, it's an OG right there. Like, that's that's a guy, or 100%, man. I kind of walk past them like, my man, or my gal, like you're committed to you've got a little bit of a caffeine addiction. I'm not going to judge that because I'm definitely there with you. You love lifting some weights, and I'm like,
that's it.
This is my people, man.
Well, they know what's up.
They know what's up.
What's up. Mm-hmm.
That's it. You could be addicted to worse things.
We were talking about just earlier today is this girl that works with us here. She was in Disneyland on Monday, and she's like, saw a guy in Disneyland wearing a Caffeine Kilo shirt. Said, did you yell at him? She goes, yeah, of course. I was like, hey, nice shirt.
You got it, man.
Hell yeah, you got to let him know.
It's like an extended family.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very.
I was at the beach one day, and with my kids, and this guy walks by, and I was just wearing a Caffeine Kilos hat, and I didn't even think anything of it. Anyway, this guy walks by, and he was like, "Oh man, nice hat." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." He's like, "Yeah, dude, Caffeine Kilos," and he kept walking. I was like, he had no idea that I owner the company, whatever. He was just pumped up to see someone else wearing Caffeine Kilos on the beach, and so that was a lot of fun.
I think it's like-minded people. It's very, very easy distinguishable of like, these people enjoy doing this thing for their life to then aid them outside of the gym, right? And I'm like, this is really cool.
Well, yeah, it's like there's a connection there. It's it's like people who do CrossFit, right? Like if you travel and if you like drop in a local CrossFit gym, like what you're gonna get. Like like even though the programming might be different the way you do at your gym, the class might be run a little bit differently, whatever. Like the people, the quality of individuals, right? Like, oh, everyone here, like these people work hard, right? Like they're probably honest, because if they're liars or cheat, like those people don't like to work hard, and so they wouldn't be here. Like, they'd have quit a long time ago. Like, this shit's too hard for people that are liars or cheaters to actually like do on a regular basis,
Yep.
And so anyway, so it's great. You go in, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going there. There's gonna be a bunch of like nice, honest people. And every time it works out, I've yet to go and drop in a class at a gym and be like, oh, these guys are a bunch of jerks. Like, it just never happens.
It's the OG style, man. People who are like rooted in the flaw of no. This is here for a reason. This isn't here to make fucking 6 figures and get you to the games or get you to the world championships or whatever. It's like, no, we're here to have fun. We're here to work hard, and we're all here to high five each other. And then, if you then have aspirations to go off, like, fantastic, do your thing.
Go for it.
You're no better than anybody else, but like, do your thing. And it's the gyms that root themselves, man. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I say, right? Like, come for the workout, stay for the community.
Yes.
I feel like that's true. That's the way it goes down.
Yeah. Strength gyms are better though, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
Just, you get to sit down between sets,
Oh yeah.
I get 5 minutes, not 30 seconds to rest. It's great.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah,
comes in with like a
definitely.
power bag of Sour Patch Kids. They're like, "Do you want one?" I'm like, yes, I do.
No, I don't want one. I want like 7.
Yeah,
Hand them
I'll
over.
have the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will say
yeah.
that's one thing I miss about training weightlifting is the rest between sets.
So I literally dropped in to a gym Monday, Tuesday, and they were like, "Oh, Alex, this is up your alley." I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Because it's just a lot of snatches." I was like, "Oh, brilliant!" Like I've not snatched in a while. Like I shattered my hand at my wrist. So I was like, "Oh, we'll just kind of play around with this bar." I was like, "Oh, wicked! I get to like sit down. This is my thing, blah blah blah." Next thing you know, it's a fucking EMOM.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. Like you
Hold on a
promised
second.
there was no cardio. It was like, oh, yeah, about that. I was like, dude, I got 30 seconds. It takes me longer than 30 seconds to change the weight. I was
Yeah.
dying, dude.
When I was lifting for California Strength with training with the team, every now and then we would do not a lot of EMOMs, but like on the 90 seconds, we'd like on 90 seconds for snatches and on 2 minutes for clean and jerks. And sometimes we would do things where there'd be team accountability. It's like if everybody makes them all, then I don't remember. We wouldn't. We would do like one less set of squats or something like that. But if like anybody misses one, then it's like we do an extra set of squats. That was like there's a lot of stuff like that going on. That's what makes it fun then, because everyone's kind of in it together, there's
For
more on the
sure.
line.
It's community, man. It's making a team sport out of an indie sport.
Yeah, that's it.
Like
That's it.
weightlifting is a funny thing. Same with powerlifting, like it's an individual
Yep.
sport, right? Same, I
Yep.
mean, same with strongman. But if you don't have your training
Right.
partners around you, like it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, does the program you follow matter? Yeah, sure, to a degree.
Yeah.
But what matters more than what matters more than the program you're following is training environment.
Yeah. I 110% agree. That was a quote by Rich Froning, right? He was like, "I'll take a training partner over a coach any day of the week."
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why Rich feels that way is I've talked to some people who have trained with them, and like for extended, not like one time, but like people who are like on the team with them, right? And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's just how it goes when you're training for a mayhem. Is you go in the gym, and then eventually Rich comes in, and then he just like walks over to the whiteboard and like writes down some shit, and then everyone does the workout, and then like when they're done, he like goes back to the whiteboard and like writes down another one, and then you do it." Like that's just kind of how it goes. Like I was like, "So do you think you had him like planned out for?" She's like, "No, he'll like grab the marker and like make it up as he's writing it down, and then we would all do it." And we would just do that until he was done. Like they would do a workout, and he'd write another one, they would do it, and he'd write another one, they would do it. And they would just kind of do that until he wasn't doing that anymore. And then eventually he'd be like, "All right, that's good. Like, see you guys at 3." And like they'd show up later and do it again. And I was like, that's just kind of it. And I don't know if that's how he still
Crazy.
does it or if how he always has, but I can like I can tell you for sure that's how it was going down for a while anyway.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man.
It's funny because you got other people who are like, losing sleep over percentages in their linear progressions, and Rich is just fucking wingdinging it.
And look at his domination until
Look at the
obviously.
results. Look at the results. Yeah.
I mean, it works, man. I mean, some of the greatest sessions I've ever had in my life has been with my brother, and we've literally got to the gym. We've had like some sort of caffeine in hand, right? We've been in the gym, fully suited and booted, and we like looked at each other and was like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, well, what do you want to do?" I was like, "I deadlift." Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll deadlift. And then what do you want to do after that? I don't know, like squat, like lunge, just something random, right? Like it was fucking phenomenal. You have that energy and you can bounce off that person. You go so much harder. Like if I'm in a gym, right?
Yeah.
I'll go RP. Well, I'm a bit crazy. I'll go RP 10. Yeah, great. But on any given day, you've got RP maybe 9. But if we're in the gym together, I will sacrifice my left testicle for you.
Yeah, it worked for Lance.
It worked for Lance, yeah, for sure. Well, he got 7 out of it.
Dude, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think that intensity and environment trump basically everything else.
Yes. Like people, they worry about like the top 5%.
Yeah.
Maybe 10%.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so same thing, man. It's like on one hand, I don't care, like whatever makes you happy, if you're having a good time, whatever. On the other hand, like in the gym, these people are coming in, they're like, I see them, they're like fucking with chains or bands for their squat. And I'm like, all right, let's like slow down a little bit. If you are not back squatting at minimum double body weight, but ideally like 2.5 probably. Like if you're not back squatting 2 to 2.5 times your body weight, put the chains away. Like you're spinning your wheels. Like what you're doing is you're like using these things now, and then like later when that linear progression does slow down, like you don't have these tools anymore. It's like you're shooting the gun too early, dude. Just like wait, like just all you got to do to get your squat to double body weight is squat. That's it. Like you don't need chains, you don't need bands, you don't need like, dude, honestly, just go into the gym and build up to a 2-rep max and do that 3 times a week, and you'll be squatting double body weight in a year. Like that's it. Like it's not, there's no need to overcomplicate this. You know what I mean? And then at a certain point when that progress slows down, like, okay, sure, you want to use bands or chains or whatever because you think it's fun, like that's great. But like, I think the biggest benefit of those things is that they're different and people like them. Now there's a difference, obviously. You're training a power lifter, you're training West Side Method, whatever. If you're squatting 800 pounds, maybe it's a different story. But like I said, dude, if you're not squatting, 2 to 3 times body weight, like you just need to put a bar on your back.
I mean, you said something really important. In a year, you'll squat double body weight. And I think it's people trying to cut corners and get there a lot quicker than they're going to, right? It's like, oh, I want to do it in 6 weeks. You're like,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. Okay. So mess with chains and bands, then it'll take you 3 years. Because it's like the basics, man. Like take the simplest path as far as you can, and when that path ends, then like don't get fancy before you need to. You know what 100%. I mean? It's like, yeah, dude. Anyway.
Well, it's people that coming in the gym, like brand new, right? Yeah. And I mean, I think I'm a massive fan of accessories, mainly because I've had so many injuries. I'm like, it just keeps me somewhat healthy, right? And dude, I'm like, go on.
Oh, let's say so I have this theory, which is, I don't know what the exact number is, right? But we'll say, whatever. Okay, you got it. You have to do your accessories. Like you will do, let me put it this way. If you're like training strength or working out, you will do, say, minimum an hour a week of accessories, like 52. So you owe 52 hours of accessory work a year, right? Mm-hmm. Now you have a choice. You can do an hour a week throughout the whole year, or you can not do it for a couple months and then get hurt. And then the only thing you can do is accessories until you're better. So if you want to just like bank 8 hours of accessories, don't do any for 8 weeks, that's fine. But then eventually you're going to get hurt, and your next 8 hours of training are only going to be accessories for the following 2 weeks until you catch up again. And then, but that's my theory anyway on accessory work.
I like that. Like that somewhat works.
It's total. I think that's the way it goes. Like you can skip them, but you're okay. Let's put it this way. You can't skip them. You can delay them.
Yeah. You're gonna do them regardless.
But you're gonna do them, so you can either like do them an hour a week, or you can not do them and get hurt, and then that's all you can do. Like that's fine. But like you are going to do like 50 hours of accessories in a year. If you're period.
I feel so much better keeping them in, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, who wants to get hurt and then only be able to do that boring shit?
I kind of enjoy it because you don't have to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I can kind of like mentally be somewhere else, kind of, put some R&B on, like just go nice and slow rather than like having to fucking psych yourself up and throw the bar above your head and all that.
Well, what's your favorite? What kind of accessories you like?
It depends. I'm a big fan of benching. Even for weightlifting, I'm a weightlifter.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of benching. I think it always helps my shoulders, always helps my
Sure.
elbows. Like my right elbow has been a iffy in the past. My right shoulder's been fucked in the past.
You know what's interesting about that is that powerlifting is accessory work for weightlifters.
Yeah.
And then bodybuilding is accessory work for powerlifters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought that was kind of interesting.
I do a lot of back, which is like bodybuilding, straight bodybuilding for back. I mean, you have to have a fucking strong ass back for weightlifting. And I find it helps with when I go heavy on either front or back squat.
Oh yeah.
You know, being able to lock that huge fucker in.
Yep.
I feel so much better.
Your front squat, you get a full hand grip on the bar, squeeze that bar?
I used to, and then I like shattered my wrist and hand, and now it's like, I fingertips.
That's why I asked, because like when you do, you just feel your upper back just like lock in if you get a full hand grip on that bar in there.
Yeah, for sure. But I got like super tight lats.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not happening anymore. I'm not going to do the mobility work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. I'll change my techers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but go on, what you saying?
Oh, what else going on?
Not much, man. You know, I'm over in New Zealand, you know, kind of dicking around, trying to get by.
Yeah.
You know, we're opening up soon, so I can leave again. I can go home.
Dude, that'd be nice.
That would be nice. I've not seen home in like 2.5 years.
Yeah, man. Wild.
Yeah, it's weird, dude. It's weird being all the way out here. But I mean, I tell you what, like in the strength scene, like they've got some fucking crazy potential here, man.
That's great.
Like Sam Owens, if you got them in the barbell early on, maybe 12.
Yeah.
You know, like Dave Litty, what did he come in the Olympics? 5th, 6th, maybe. Like, I reckon next cycle he'll end up medaling.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, for New Zealand, that's kind of like uncalled for. You know, small island, there's less than 5 million people here. You're getting a super heavyweight going on the stage, coming back with a little bit of silverware, whether it's gold, bronze, or silver, it doesn't matter. You've come back with something. That's massive.
Oh yeah. Yep.
How's your training at the moment? You still weightlifting? Are you CrossFitting?
Yeah, so I have a gym also. So I have a CrossFit gym. So right now I do the class at my gym 2 times a week without fail, and I try to get in a 3rd time. And then on the weekends I do some other stuff, whatever. So like I actually try to once a week, like I just go for like a ruck walk. I got a 50-pound pack. Just put on the 50-pound pack and then just go walk for an hour. And I'm moving. I'm not like strolling along, like whatever. But dude, it feels good. Like it feels like get your heart rate up, you're sweating, but it's honestly what it is. It's accessory work, right? Like it's just like overall kind of conditioning. It's like I don't really like going for runs. Like I'm not a big runner. So it's kind of you get similar type thing though, you know, kind of get that steady state in there, but there's a little bit of strength with it. It's got the heavy pack on, you know, and so I do that like once a week, and then I just do the class in my gym 2-3 times a week. But I mean, I feel good, you know, like I sometimes I'd like to do a little bit more, but just with the way, you know, kind of my schedule is and what I got going on, this is what I can do consistently, you know?
Yeah, that's the important thing, man. Being consistent.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, committing to fucking 6 days a week, and then 2 weeks later you're back down to 1. It's like, no, just come 3 times, twice, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got that. And, you know, also it depends on, you know, training age is like a real thing, right? Like what are your experiences? And so, I mean, I've been, you know, I've always worked out. I've never not worked out, right? Playing sports as a kid, and then in high school started lifting weights through different sports and stuff. And then I just never really stopped. And then once I started doing CrossFit in 2007, I think it was, you know, and so then for a while, you know, whatever, 5 or 6 years, I only trained weightlifting, you know, and then kind of back to CrossFit. And so with all that experience and stuff, and I live a pretty healthy lifestyle outside of that, as far as nutrition wise and those types of things. So, with that, 2 to 3 days a week, if you, eat pretty good and have these other things under control, that's enough to maintain. I'm not making any crazy gains or anything like that. But every now and then, like I'll slip and fall in a PR in a workout, so that still happens, once every couple months, I'll surprise myself, or a little more than that, maybe once a month or so. So anyway, it works. But I think it works because, like I said, it's like the other aspects of what I got going on are pretty dialed. So it definitely helps out. Now, if someone's like brand new to working out, would I say, oh yeah, 2 days a week, all you need, 2 to 3 days? Like, no, I just try to encourage them to do a little bit more than that. But that's why it's important also to work on these like other lifestyle factors, like, are you eating vegetables? Are you drinking water? Are you, eating some like protein in every meal? It's like these like, how's your sleep? How's your stress management? How's your, are you eating like probiotic rich foods and prebiotic rich foods like every day? Like, these are the things that really make a big difference, to just kind of get brushed aside a lot.
Yeah, totally. Like, it goes back to that fucking top 5, top 10%, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm coming in, I'm gonna do some like banded clam work. I'm gonna go eat Mackies. I'm gonna sleep fucking 6 hours a night and get on the piss 3 days a week. And you're like, great, you've never been in the gym before. You're gonna see some sort of gain, right? That's
Did
great.
you say get on the piss 3 days a week?
Yeah. So the piss is drink alcohol.
Got it. Yeah. I thought that's what you meant, but I was like, I'm gonna check in on this here.
Yeah. It was like Northerners have some weird.
Get on the piss.
Get on the piss. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna bring that to America.
Oh, brilliant. That's gonna be my legacy.
Yeah. Gotta hang your hat on something. No, but you're
Ruining
totally right.
American English.
Yeah. But that's exactly it though. Like, what you're saying is exactly it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna train 5 or 6 days a week, but then everything else in their life is shambles.
Thing is, I think an important thing to bring up is like, all right, yeah, life kind of throws you a curveball. Say, for example, you're traveling and you're not that guy who brings all your fucking meals and all that shit. It's like,
Sure.
Great, you don't have to, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And you also don't want to break your bank, go into what's that store called you've got over there? Whole Foods. Yeah. Like, okay, fine, great. It's like, what's optimal? What's not optimal? What are the better choices? You don't have to go for the best choice, because sometimes that's like very expensive. What is a better choice, right? And it was just like, choose a better choice.
Dude, here's an example. So I mentioned like before we started recording, I was telling you I spent like 5 or 6 days up ice fishing with these guys. And I don't want that to sound like it's something I do all the time. This is the only time I've ever done that in my life. Like, I know this guy that lives in Minnesota, and he was like talking about it one time, and I was like, wait, hold on, like, what the, and he's like, yeah, dude, you should come out. All right. And so he put together this little trip. And so there's like 9 guys in total. So I'm not going to like control what everybody eats, because we're all eating together. We're all cooking together and stuff. And so he went to the store and got all the food before we went. And so I don't know exactly what I'm going to be eating. And I'm not going to like make a separate trip to the store and have my own stash of food and like be like the weird guy. Like, that's just not like, that's not even good. I wouldn't even be having a good time doing that. And it's like weird. You're like trying to, anyway. So there's like small things, right? So it's like, okay. So on the drive, it was like a 5 or 6 hour drive to this lake. It was like, we would like stop to get gas, and everyone go into the gas station, whatever. And it's like, and I would get a kombucha. And then, you know what I mean? And then I'd get like whatever, like some beef jerky. And then like a lot of them had like some produce, and I'd get like an apple, And so just like little things like that, like instead of going in and buying like whatever your normal kind of gas station shit food, it's like, no, because I know over the next few days, I'm just kind of going along with the ride. I'm eating whatever everyone's eating. So these opportunities where I can get something different, it's like, okay, I'm going to get things that make me feel good, things that are healthy. Grab a kombucha, an apple, and some sort of meat thing, right? Or like they have like the hard-boiled eggs, which are kind of gross, but it's like something where it's like, all right, I'm going to get in like some protein, a probiotic thing, and like some like fruit and vegetable type deal, and it's like not a big deal. And you just kind of, every time we would stop, I'll just do that, and so it's like, all right, like I might not be in control of what I'm having for lunch, 2 days from now, but I am in control of right now. And like, what can I do about this? You know, I'm like, what can I do that'll make me feel better now? And they'll kind of give me like a little hedge against what I know is coming, you know? And so that, it's those types of things, right? It's like, what is your best option at the time? You know, like I said, you're traveling. It's like, all right, so you're going to go eat breakfast. Like, maybe don't get the waffle that's covered in, whipped cream and syrup and stuff, right? Like maybe like get an omelet, you know what I mean? Like whatever. It doesn't mean you can't ever like splurge, but just, kind of hedge, right? Like, pick your spots. You know, my weightlifting coach, Dave Spitz, one thing I remember him saying is like, you can't live life without boundaries. And it's like that's it, And so doesn't mean you can never like splurge or you can never have that like whipped cream or whatever. Like, sure you can, but like you gotta also like pick your spots and like set your limits. And so that's something I try to keep in mind. I'm like, all right, if I know that later that day or whatever, I'm going to be, eating somewhere where I'm not going to have a lot of healthy options, and I make sure the meal before that, I do eat something that's good,
Yeah, a lot
that
of
way
the
you just don't
time.
get like down this like spiral.
That's it. That's exactly it. Like people go to the extreme, right? They're like, we're going, like I don't have any control later, or we're going out to fucking whatever.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. Now the whole trip's ruined. I'm just gonna like nail myself with some like chocolate bars all the time. You're like, wait, hold on a minute. Like, back up the
Yeah.
trolley. Like, one meal or like 1 week isn't gonna fucking kill you, man.
Well,
There's a lot of work you're doing in the year.
Yep. And I think that's the problem with like quote like cheat days on diets, right? Like a meal, whatever. But like when you go on like cheat days, it's like, dude, you're gonna put down 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories like in this one, you're gonna undo the entire week, right? And even in meals, a lot of times, like you kind of end up, it's okay, like a meal, what does that mean? Does that include dessert? Like, do I like get to like eat whatever the fuck I want and then also go to ice cream? Cause like that, cause like same thing. It's like you're gonna basically consume all of the calories that you were in a deficit for the entire week, And so I'm not saying that you should never do those types of things. It's like you just gotta set some parameters, man. Like so it's like, okay, like we're gonna go out to dinner and like you get to pick one. Like you either get like the rolls on the table, like you get the bread, or you get drinks, or you get dessert. But like you can't have them all. Like you gotta pick one, So it's like you want an appetizer, booze, or dessert. Like pick one and you can have that. The other two, that means the other two things you can't, And it's the same thing. It's like you still have these different things, but you just gotta set boundaries around it.
Yeah, it helps actually understanding what food is you're consuming, right? You're like, okay, where is the protein? Where is the nutrients? Where's the carbs? Where's the fat, right? Rather than just be like, oh, I want this. It's like, no, what the fuck are you eating, right? If you want that,
right.
if you want that like ice cream or whatever, I was like, what is that? Okay, it's a load of carbohydrates. Granted, it's in sugar, but it's the same shit. It was like, great. Now you're not gonna eat that fucking like shitload of mashed potato. Maybe you get a different meal. So then overall, you've pretty much consumed the best. Is it the best option
Ideal.
in terms of ideal? Exactly. No, but life isn't
well, and
ideal.
also, and then also just like understanding how these things affect you. Like, so if you're gonna eat something that has like a ton of like sugar or carbohydrates, like all right, whatever, but like make sure you have some like protein around that time too, right? Because the way it's like the hormone roller coaster, right? Like if you want to blunt that insulin spike, make sure that there's some protein around the same time, right? So it's like if you're gonna have dessert, that's fine, but with your meal, you should make sure you get like plenty of protein in that meal before you have that dessert, right? Instead of just having like an all carb meal followed by ice cream dessert. It's like, dude, you're just freaking, at that point, you're just chasing the dragon,
Comatized, man.
Dude, that's exactly it.
We've all done it, man, right? You eat
Oh,
that massive
dude, you
meal.
kidding me? Of course. Yeah.
And you need a nap.
I try to think about, I'm not perfect. I don't want this time, but I try to think about like, how am I gonna feel later? Because like how many times it's like at the time you're like, oh, it sounds great, and you like do it, eat it, whatever, and then like an hour later you feel like dog shit, and you're just like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, right? And so I try to remember that sometimes, like, oh man, I really want this, whatever. Like, all right, but if I do, like, how am I gonna feel later, and is it worth it? And like maybe sometimes it is, but most of the times probably not, or it's somewhere in the middle. It's like, what I'm gonna do is actually like oh, we could split this. Like, I don't need to get this whole thing, like maybe we should just we should split this. And then you get a little bit of it, and then you don't have this huge like regret later.
Yeah, and you enjoy the food and the experience shared with the food rather than like the addiction of I'm just going to nail myself with as much as possible, right? To feel
Right.
that sense of like I'm uncomfortably full. It's like, no. Slow the fuck down, right? Turn your
Yeah.
phone off, enjoy the company, enjoy the fucking tiramisu or whatever, pazuki or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And like it's the experience with it too, I think that a lot of people miss. Which like
Yeah.
in Central Europe, they do that really, really well. Like the Italians, it's very much of like you're going to sit down for a meal and it's going to take you 2 to 3 hours, right, in the evening. And it's real longed out, real slow. It's the conversation that goes with it. You get a glass of wine, but it's like a glass of wine and it's a
Yeah.
small glass of wine and you enjoy the wine, right? And you enjoy the food and it's smaller portion and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like the
Yeah.
experience with it rather than us more Western. Britain is definitely a good example. I'm sure America is too, where it's like, I'm going to fill my plate as much as possible. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to be like, oh shit, give me 10 minutes. And then I'm going to do the same thing with dessert. And you're like, you've missed out on
Yeah.
experience, man.
Yeah. And if I'm not out of here in an hour, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Like, what's taking so long?
What's taking so long? Everyone's in a rush, man.
Everyone's in a rush. I remember my dad one time saying, like, talking about said, man, I feel like I'm always in a hurry, whether real or imagined. And I was like, oh
Wow.
shit. Like, I know that's like, he was about himself, And I was like, man, I know what you mean. Like, a lot of times you feel like you're in this rush, you're in this hurry, but it's like, but are you really? And I try to watch myself with my kids because I have a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old. And it's like in the morning, like taking them to school and like go into the car and like get in the car, like hurry, we gotta go. Like, it's like thinking about it. I'm like, all right, like how much longer would it have taken them if I wouldn't have like been all worked up? Like, would it have been 10 minutes? Like, no. Like, probably would have been like 30 seconds or 1 minute longer. And like, what does that really affect? Like, what does that matter? Like, they're not going to be like late to school or like whatever. Like, that 30 seconds really has no bearing on anything. So why do I feel like it's like always on a mission, right? Like, task at hand. Like, all right, we're going to okay, let's go get in the car. So it's like, that means you got to go straight, open your door, get in the fucking, it's like, really, does it really matter though if they like stop to pick that flower? Like, probably not, dude. Like, you know, so that's something I need to work on, and I'm getting better at it, but definitely I have a lot of room to go there.
Everything evolves around a clock. You know what I mean? Like we're slaves to time.
Dude, that's part of my vacation. Like, if we're going on a vacation where I'm trying to like relax, it's like I just don't bring a watch. I'm like, I'm not
Wow.
gonna bring a watch. I'm not gonna like, of course you got your phone, so there's no time on it, but like that's not the point. Like, I'm not gonna, whatever time it is, what time it is. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, get up, eat breakfast when you feel like it. It's kind of like only keep track of time just like out of curiosity more than, because you're waiting for something or whatever.
That's what I like about these trips I end up going on, right? Like I kind of go on a bit of like nomadic trips where I just kind of disappear. You sometimes I feel a little bit disconnected, usually from myself or whatever, and things start slipping. So I'm like, I'm just gonna disappear for a while. And I
Yeah.
delete everything from my phone, and usually it spends a lot of time being turned off too. And I
Yeah.
don't check the time, like
Yeah.
literally just kind of go live.
Yeah.
It's refreshing, man. Like it's different, it's strange, and it's puts you in some weird places because you get a little bit anxious that you're missing out on things, but you're
Yeah.
not.
It takes a few days to adjust.
It does.
Yeah. All right, man. Is there anything else you want to go over?
Nah, brother. Like I appreciate your time, man. So I'll let you crack off. I do have three
Ready?
questions. If you're
Oh, I'm ready for him.
all right, what's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
Oh shit. You can't live life without boundaries.
Mm,
That's it. I think that might be it, man. Like, you can have a lot of fun, you can do things, doesn't mean you can't like push limits sometimes, but like you gotta have a stop somewhere.
mm,
You gotta know where, where your boundaries are.
mm. I agree. What's the worst piece of life advice you've ever received?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Um, I don't know. I don't know. That's a I try not to listen to it. I would say kind of get into the parenting stuff. Like I think um I don't know, this isn't like specific advice. I think schedules are good, but I think that you need to be in charge of your schedule, not let your schedule be in charge of you.
Mm.
Right. Um, so it's like with business and stuff, it's kind of like this hustle culture and all this. And I think that's fine. I think it's good. I think hard work's important. I think that there's a time to hustle and all that. But if you're letting that control your life instead of you controlling when that happens, I think that's a problem. So I think like when you build your weeks, instead of writing in your work schedule and then trying to fill your personal life around that, I think you should go the other way. I think you can look at the schedule and you can say, okay, like when is my time with my family? When is my time doing whatever self-care stuff? When is my time to do hobbies? And then you fill in your work schedule around that. So I think maybe the worst advice is to, bury your head in the sand for a period of time and only, don't pay attention to anything and hustle, grind. I think
Mm.
that ultimately that can work for a while, but that is not sustainable and it can ruin your life. So yes, work hard, yes, hustle, but don't lose sight of what's really important in life.
Mm. Yeah, Denzel Washington said something like, I never get life mixed up with making a living or something like that.
Yeah. Don't be too busy making a living to make a life
Yeah,
is like
yeah,
a
yeah.
similar thing. Yeah.
And yeah, that one hit me for six. Yeah, that's really important. What three words you tell your younger self?
3 words. I'll tell my only 3 words.
Yeah.
Um, man, so somehow to distill that message, right? Like the one we just talked about, basically, So it'd be like, uh, like don't lose track, right? Or like don't lose track of what's important. How about take a breath? That'd probably be
Oh,
one.
God damn. That's a good
And
one.
like take a breath, relax. It's gonna be okay. Like,
Yeah, don't worry about the clock.
dude, take a breath. Like,
Yeah, fuck. Brother, I
you know,
appreciate that,
being
man.
being a driven person, like I know I am. Like I know that the things I want to get done, I'm going to get done.
Yeah.
Like I've never had shit that I wanted to, like really wanted to take action on and just didn't. Like it's never happened. So like stop, take a breath, like you're gonna get to it. Like you don't, you know, can't live your life all spun up, stressed out.
That's it, man. Like, everyone's anxious.
Dude. Yeah, everybody's on fucking Xanax.
Yeah, man. Like, I can't believe it, man. What is it like 70? Like, this could be just out my ass, but like 70% of the American population is on prescription drugs.
Oh, probably. I mean, I have no idea what the stat is, but like that sounds good. Like I would believe that. That wouldn't
I don't,
surprise me.
it
Well,
doesn't
because
make any
between
sense, man.
if you look at all the prescription drugs, right? You're talking about once you get into like blood pressure medication and a heart medication and then mental health things and like it's like, dude, there's a never ending list. Like think about everybody that I know in my life. And it's like, yeah, that's probably right. Probably about 70%. Yeah.
And I'm not
When
saying that's the wrong path to choose. Like, live and let live, do whatever you want to do. But it's not the only path to choose. And it shouldn't be used, in my opinion, it shouldn't just be used solely for the way out. If you're going to use it, do something else with it.
look, I mean, I gotta go here, but yeah, I'm with you, man. And this, like, I know a guy who was diabetic and he had an insulin pump, and you know what I mean. And like, I'd see him like grab a donut and then grab
Yeah.
his insulin pump, and he'd like crank up his insulin a few notches, and then eat that donut. And I was like, man, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that the goal? So like, we have this modern medicine so that you can just like fuck off and do what you like. That's not. I don't know. Like, and I know you don't feel good. Like, I know you would feel so much better if you just like were healthier, And then like, yeah, you could have that donut every now and then, but like, let's get your shit under control first, you know?
Yeah. Agreed, man.
So,
All right, brother. I know you need a crack. I appreciate it, man. We'll chat soon.
all right, I'm gonna spread the word, let everyone know when they're on the piss.
Cheers, man.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, Alex. Thanks a lot. Let me know what's up.
Bye, everybody.